Did you know that on top of the price tag you see on a house, the average homebuyer will spend an extra 10% to 20% in other costs within the first year alone? That's right. For a house listed at $300,000, you could be staring down an additional bill of $30,000 to $60,000. That's not a rounding error, folks. That's a brand new car or a college fund. This is the kind of financial shock that can knock a family off its feet for years, turning the American dream into a stressful, debt-filled nightmare. It's a gut punch that most people never see coming because they're so focused on that shiny list price and the pretty pictures online. Now, take a deep breath. I'm not here to scare you away from owning a home. Home ownership, when done right, is a blessing and a powerful way to build wealth for your family. The goal today is not to cause panic, but to replace that panic with a plan. We're going to pull back the curtain on all those sneaky expenses that realtors and mortgage lenders don't always shout from the rooftops. That big, beautiful number on the real estate listing? That's just the cover charge. To actually get the keys to your new home, you first have to navigate a maze of expenses called closing costs. These are the fees you pay to finalize the mortgage and transfer ownership of the property from the seller to you. Folks, these are not small potatoes. Experts agree that you should budget between 2% and 5% of the total home price for these fees. On that $300,000 house we talked about, you're looking at a bill of anywhere from $6,000 to $15,000. That's cash you need to have ready on closing day, separate from your down payment. So, what are you actually paying for? Loan origination fees, appraisal fees, title insurance fees, credit report, underwriting, administrative tasks. Each one might seem small, but they stack up faster than pancakes at a church breakfast. And don't forget about moving itself. Getting your stuff from point A to point B is a real cost. If you're hiring professional movers, a local move can easily cost $1,000 to $2,000, while a cross-country move can soar past $5,000. Do it yourself, and you still pay for the truck, gas, boxes, tape, and pizza for your friends. Once you have the keys, that incredible feeling of accomplishment washes over you. You've done it. You're a homeowner. But as you stand in your new living room, it's crucial to understand that the financial finish line you just crossed was actually a starting line. The expenses don't stop with the mortgage. In fact, in many ways, they've just begun. Welcome to the world of home maintenance and repairs, the silent, creeping expense that can dismantle a household budget with surprising speed. It's not as predictable as your mortgage payment or as visible as your utility bills, which is precisely what makes it so dangerous. Think of your house not as a static object, but as a complex system of components, each with its own lifespan. It's a living, breathing thing that needs constant care to stay healthy. That asphalt shingle roof has a 20 to 30-year clock ticking on it. The water heater that provides your hot showers will eventually give up, typically after 8 to 12 years. The air conditioner, a hero in the summer, will inevitably quit on the hottest day of the year, usually around the 15-year mark. And that sturdy-looking fence? It might just decide to fall over in the next big windstorm. These are not possibilities. They are certainties. Every single part of your home is on a slow march toward replacement. The only things you don't know are exactly when and precisely how much it will cost when the bill comes due. So how do you prepare for the unknown? Financial experts have a powerful rule of thumb. Budget between 1% and 4% of your home's purchase price for maintenance and repairs each year. Now that's a wide range, so let's break it down. Where you fall in that spectrum depends heavily on two key factors: your home's age and its location. For a newer home, say 0 to 5 years old, you can likely stick to the low end, around 1%. Most of your major systems are under warranty, and failures are rare. For a midlife home, between 6 and 15 years old, you should aim for 1% to 2%. This is when those first major replacements, like a water heater or dishwasher, start to appear. But for an older home, 16 years or more, you need to be prepared. Budgeting 2% to 4% is not conservative. It's realistic. You're now in the prime replacement window for big-ticket items like the roof and HVAC system, often in the same year. Climate is the other major variable. Living in a harsh northern climate with heavy snow and freeze-thaw cycles puts immense stress on your roof, foundation, and driveway. Conversely, a hot, humid coastal climate means your air conditioning runs constantly, salt air corrodes metal components, and you're battling moisture and pests year-round. A mild, temperate climate will generally be kinder to your home and your wallet. You have to adjust your savings based on the environmental war your house is fighting every day. Let's do the math on a $300,000 house to see how this plays out. If it's brand new, 1% is $3,000 a year. That's $250 a month. But if it's an older home in a tough climate, 4% is $12,000 a year. A staggering $1,000 a month. That's a huge difference, and it's why you must honestly assess your specific situation. This money needs to be a non-negotiable line item in your monthly budget. It should be treated with the same importance as your mortgage payment. The best practice is to automate a monthly transfer into a separate, dedicated high-yield savings account. This isn't your fun money or your vacation fund. This is your peace of mind fund. Because if you ignore this, the consequences multiply. A slow $500 plumbing leak that you can't afford to fix immediately doesn't just stay a $500 problem. It soaks into the subfloor, warps the cabinetry, and invites mold. Suddenly, that small leak has turned into a $10,000 remediation project. Proactive funding prevents catastrophic costs. And we haven't even touched on the smaller recurring tasks that keep a home from falling into disrepair. These are the chores that happen seasonally or annually. Think about lawn care, the cost of a mower, gas, fertilizer, and weed killer, or the several $100s a month to hire a service. Then there's gutter cleaning to prevent water damage, quarterly pest control to keep insects and rodents out, pressure washing the siding to prevent mold and mildew buildup, the twice-yearly service for your HVAC system to keep it efficient and extend its life, staining the deck every few years to protect the wood. Individually, these tasks might cost a few $100s each, but they easily add up to thousands over the course of a year. It's critical to understand the difference between this fund and your general emergency fund. Your emergency fund is for true, unforeseeable life calamities, like a job loss or a major medical crisis. Your home maintenance fund is for expenses that are expected, just not scheduled. When the washing machine finally gives out and floods the laundry room, the moment shouldn't be one of financial panic. It should be one of inconvenience, followed by the calm action of writing a check from the fund you diligently built for this exact purpose. This is the fundamental shift in mindset that allows you to truly own a home without letting it own you. When you buy a home, you're not just making a deal with the seller and the bank, you're also inviting a few new, non-negotiable financial partners into your life. Think of them as your new roommates. First, there's the local government, and second, your insurance company. And trust me, unlike a roommate who might be a little late with their share of the rent, these partners will always collect their payments on time, every time. To make this process smoother, your lender will typically bundle your estimated property taxes and homeowner's insurance premiums into your monthly mortgage payment. This combined payment goes into a special savings account called an escrow account. It's incredibly convenient. Your lender handles paying the bills for you. But this convenience has a downside. It's easy to forget just how much these costs add up to, and more importantly, that they can change. You see, your lender estimates your taxes and insurance for the year, but if the actual bills come in higher than expected, and they often do, you'll have an escrow shortage. When this happens, your lender will cover the difference, but you have to pay them back. This usually means your monthly mortgage payment will increase the following year to cover the shortage and adjust for the new higher costs. It's a common and unwelcome surprise for many first-time homeowners. So let's break down the first roommate. Property taxes. These are the funds that keep your community running. They pay for public schools, road maintenance, libraries, and first responders like police and fire departments. Essentially, it's your contribution to the civic infrastructure you rely on every day. What you pay is based on two key factors: your home's assessed value and the local tax rate, or millage rate. This is where things can get tricky. The assessed value isn't what you paid for the house. It's what the local government determines your property is worth for tax purposes. And this value isn't set in stone. Municipalities conduct periodic, often annual, reassessments. If property values in your area have gone up, your assessment likely will too, leading to a higher tax bill. You can sometimes appeal an assessment you feel is unfairly high, but it's a formal process. The tax rates themselves can also vary dramatically from one town to the next, even within the same county. On a $300,000 home, some areas might charge $2,000 a year, but in high-tax states, that same home could command $8,000 or more. That's a difference of $500 each month. This is why it's critical to research specific tax rates before you fall in love with a house. Next up is your second roommate, homeowner's insurance. This isn't optional. Your lender will require you to have a policy in place because it protects their investment and your biggest asset against disasters like fire, theft, and certain types of storm damage like hail. It also provides liability coverage in case someone is injured on your property. Costs are directly tied to risk. If you're buying in an area prone to hurricanes, tornadoes, or wildfires, expect your premiums to be significantly higher. It's also crucial to know what covered. Standard policies often exclude damage from floods and earthquakes. If you're in a designated risk zone for these events, you'll need to purchase separate specific coverage. Always shop around and get multiple quotes to ensure you're getting the best rate for the coverage you need. Finally, there's a potential third roommate who might move in, depending on your down payment. Private mortgage insurance, or PMI. If you put down less than 20% of the home's purchase price, your lender sees you as a higher-risk borrower. To mitigate that risk, they will likely require you to pay for PMI. Let's be crystal clear, this insurance protects the lender, not you. If you default on your loan, PMI reimburses the lender for their losses. This extra insurance isn't cheap. PMI can add $50 to several $100s to your monthly payment. But the good news is, this roommate doesn't have to live with you forever. Once your loan-to-value ratio, or LTV, reaches 80%, meaning you've paid down your mortgage to 80% of the home's original value, you can formally request that your lender cancel the PMI. By law, they are required to automatically terminate it once your LTV hits 78%. So, keep a close eye on your equity growth and be proactive about giving PMI its eviction notice. Understanding each piece of your total housing payment, the principal and interest on the loan, the property taxes, the homeowner's insurance, and potentially PMI is fundamental to responsible homeownership. Even if they're all conveniently tucked inside an escrow payment, seeing the whole pie and knowing that its slices can change in size is what keeps you in financial control and prevents costly surprises down the road. Many newer neighborhoods and condominium complexes are governed by a homeowners association, or HOA. They maintain common areas, pools, and playgrounds, enforce appearance standards, helping protect property values. But that service comes with a price. And these fees are not optional. Fees can range from $50 a month to over $1,000 in high-end developments with golf, gates, and gyms. Remember, this is on top of your mortgage, taxes, and insurance. Forgetting a $400 HOA is like adding another car payment. HOAs can also levy special assessments, one-time fees for big repairs like storm damage or infrastructure, sometimes due with little notice. Before making an offer, request bylaws, rules, and especially financial statements. Is it well managed with healthy reserves or operating on a shoestring? Know the rules and the value you get. An HOA can be a blessing, but if you're unprepared for the costs and restrictions, it can feel like a very expensive dictatorship. Very few people move into a pre-owned house and find it perfect. There's almost always something to change. Fixtures, carpet, maybe that dream granite kitchen. Upgrades are fun, and often underestimated expenses. Sellers may take the fridge, washer, and dryer. A basic, reliable set can run $3,000 to $5,000 or more. Window treatments for every room can be thousands. Your old sofa may look tiny, prompting new, larger furniture. That kitchen renovation? Mid-range jobs cost tens of thousands. Bathrooms often run $5,000 to $15,000. New flooring is dollars per square foot plus labor. Even painting can cost thousands with pros. Projects run longer and cost more than expected. Plan them, save for them, and pay cash, not debt. Every dollar for down payment, closing, repairs, and upgrades is a dollar not invested elsewhere. Be intentional, make a list, prioritize, research true costs, then create a savings plan to do them one at a time, with cash. Don't let your desire for a perfect home lead you into the trap of debt. Let me tell you about Sarah. She worked hard, saved diligently, and was incredibly excited to buy her first home, a charming bungalow for $220,000. She had a solid down payment and felt prepared. On closing day, she had to write a check for over $4,000 in closing costs, covered from savings. 2 months later, a heavy rainstorm hit. A stain spread across her ceiling. The roofer said the roof was older than expected. A patch wouldn't cut it. She needed a new roof, $5,000. She drained a big chunk of savings. Utilities ran $100 more than her apartment. No washer or dryer, another $1,200. The mower died. She replaced it. Individually small, together relentless. In year 1, nearly $8,000 she hadn't budgeted. Sarah learned, automate a maintenance fund, service HVAC, keep eyes on major systems. It's not a caution against buying, it's a warning to budget beyond the mortgage and walk in with a plan. Okay, we've laid out the hidden costs and financial landmines of buying a home. Now, it's time to arm yourself with a battle plan. Winning in real estate isn't about finding a house with the lowest list price. It's about securing a home you can afford for the long haul. This is your 5-step strategy for achieving that financial peace. First, and this is the big one, save up a bigger down payment. The gold standard is 20% of the home's purchase price. Why? Because it's your single most powerful move. Hitting that 20% mark means you completely avoid private mortgage insurance, or PMI. That's an extra fee lenders charge to protect themselves, and it can easily add hundreds of dollars to your monthly payment without building a single cent of your own equity. A larger down payment also means you'll borrow less, which directly lowers your monthly payment and drastically reduces the total interest you pay over the life of the loan. You start with instant equity, which accelerates your wealth building from day one. If you can't reach 20%, remember that every extra $1,000 you put down helps. And once your loan-to-value ratio hits 80%, you can formally request to have PMI removed. By law, it must automatically drop off when you reach 78%. If you're still far from that 20% goal, the smartest and safest move is to wait. It is always better to rent for another year and build your savings than to rush into a home you can't truly afford. Patience now buys you security later. Second, get a ruthlessly thorough home inspection. I'm talking attic to foundation, plumbing, electrical, the roof, and the HVAC system. This isn't just a formality, it's your primary negotiation tool. A detailed report gives you leverage. We recently worked with a buyer whose inspection uncovered an aging HVAC system. Instead of walking away, they used the report to negotiate a $10,000 credit from the seller at closing, effectively getting a brand new system for free. That report can help you demand fixes, negotiate a price drop, or give you the confidence to walk away from a money pit. Third, build your budget on the total cost of ownership, not the mortgage payment alone. This includes your principal, interest, property taxes, and homeowner's insurance, PITE, but it doesn't stop there. You must factor in HOA fees and a realistic maintenance fund. A good starting point is the 1% rule. Budget at least 1% of the home's value for annual maintenance. For a brand new home, that might be enough. But for a 15-year-old house, you should lean closer to 2 or 3%, especially in harsh climates. And don't forget to account for higher utility bills. Your total housing cost should never exceed 25% of your monthly take-home pay. That is the guardrail that protects the rest of your financial life. Fourth, aggressively shop your mortgage and your homeowner's insurance. Don't just go with the first lender that pre-approves you. Get at least 3 to 5 quotes from different types of lenders. Include big banks, local credit unions, and reputable online mortgage brokers. A seemingly tiny difference in the interest rate, even just 0.25%, can save you tens of thousands of dollars over 30 years. Do the same for insurance. Compare coverage limits, not just premiums, and always ask about bundling discounts if you bring over your auto policy. And fifth, Go to closing with more cash than you think you need. You must have enough for your full down payment, all your closing costs, which can be 2 to 5% of the purchase price, and moving expenses. But that's not all. On top of all that, you must have a separate, fully funded emergency fund with 3 to 6 months of living expenses. This is your non-negotiable financial safety net. It's what protects you from a job loss, a medical emergency, or a sudden major home repair without forcing you into high-interest debt. Let me be crystal clear. Do not buy a house if doing so completely wipes out your savings. Draining your cash reserves to get the keys is not an achievement. It is a foolish and unnecessary risk that turns a potential asset into a massive liability. This 5-step plan isn't about delaying your dream. It's about ensuring your dream doesn't become a nightmare. Follow these steps, and you will own your home with the confidence and financial security you deserve. You'll be in control of your house, not the other way around. Buying a home is one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. It's a wonderful goal. Approach it with wisdom and realism. The sticker price is just the beginning. The real cost includes closing costs, property taxes, maintenance and repairs, and HOA fees that show up after you get the keys. Create a comprehensive budget, save aggressively, and plan ahead. Remember, your total monthly housing cost should not exceed 25% of take-home pay. Have you saved closing costs, 2%, 5% in addition to your down payment? Saved at least 1% for first-year maintenance, budgeted taxes, insurance, and any HOA fees? Kept housing at or below 25% of take-home? Got a professional inspection? Shopped mortgage and insurance? Still have a 3 to 6 month emergency fund after paying closing? Be brutally honest. If you can't check every box, wait, that's okay. It's better to prepare than to get burned. With eyes wide open and a ready budget, you'll own your home. It won't own you.